Dear grown kids, let me keep it real with you for a minute. No one had perfect parenting. Not Gen X, not boomers, not any generation before or after. Every single family has flaws, mistakes, things that could have been done better. That's reality. But here's where it gets concerning. Thinking that you're going to do it perfectly while cutting your children off from people who actually love them over a conflict that could have been handled differently, because those relationships, grandparents, extended family, they matter. They add to a child's sense of connection, of belonging. And when they're removed suddenly, that has an impact too. I'm not talking about real harm. That's very different. But when it comes to everyday conflict, how we handle it matters, because we're all shaping something, not just in our children, but in the relationships they grow up learning from.
She said something I need you to hear. She said no one had perfect parenting. Not Gen X, not millennials, nobody. And she's right. But here's what I need to add to that. Being right doesn't mean you're done. I need you guys to stay with me here. I want to give credit where it's due. This woman had the courage to say what a lot of people don't want to say out loud. You did not have perfect parents. I did not have perfect parents. And if you think you're going to be the first generation to raise children without making a single mistake, you are lying to yourself. That is not growth. That is pride dressed up like healing. She's absolutely right about that. But here's where I need to take it a step further, because the clip stops there and we can't stop there. A lot of adult children have been handed a script. The script says your parents were imperfect. Therefore, no contact is valid. And what nobody challenges is, what's the standard? If being perfect is the bar for cutting off a parent, then you need to cut off yourself, because you are not perfect either. You are raising children right now, or you will, and those children one day are going to look at the things you did, the things you said, the ways you fell short, and they are going to have a choice to make. What are you modeling for them? Because children just don't learn. Children don't just learn from what you say. They learn from what they see. And right now, they're watching you disappear on your mother. They're watching you block your father. They're watching you decide that someone who raised you, who wasn't perfect, who made mistakes, isn't worth a conversation. What lesson is that? And I'll take it one more place because I have to. Some of you have children, and those children have grandparents. Grandparents who did not hurt those kids. Grandparents who love those kids. But because you are in a disagreement with your parent, those children are being used as collateral damage. You didn't just cut off your mom. You cut off your child's grandmother. And your child didn't vote on that. Your child didn't have a say. Your child just woke up one day and grandma wasn't there. You want to talk about being perfect or being an imperfect parent? That is imperfect parenting at its finest. Now, I want to be clear. There are situations, real ones, where no contact makes sense. Abuse, danger, addiction. That puts children at risk. I'm not talking about those situations. I'm talking about the ones where the offense was being perfect, where the crime was being human, where the sentence is permanent silence. That's not healing. That is punishment. And what the therapeutic community won't always tell you is this: healing does not require you to destroy someone else to get there. You can heal and still have a relationship. You can set boundaries and still pick up the phone. You can protect your peace and still let your parents know you're alive. Those things are not opposites. So to the woman in this clip, I hear you. No one had perfect parents, and that's the God honest truth. But to the grown children watching this, the question isn't whether your parents were perfect. The question is, who do you want to be? Because one day, maybe sooner than you think, you're going to need grace. You're going to need grace. And the grace you give is the grace you teach. I want you guys to really pay attention to what I said in this video. I'm Aaron Real Talk. If you are a parent who is still standing, drop still standing in the comments right now. I see you. Make sure you like, follow, and share. I appreciate you guys.